Hi, I'm Sean Reynolds, the owner of Smit Properties Northwest and Reynolds and Klein Appraisal. And today I have with me Mr. Dan Chapman from Fairway Independent Mortgage. Welcome, Dan.
Good to be here.
Yeah. So we hear a lot of people talking about, hey, I've got private mortgage insurance or PMI. How do I remove that? So that's what I want to talk about today.
Sure.
You are a lender,
Yep.
like we said, with Fairway Independent Mortgage, and so you consult people all the time on private mortgage removal. Tell us a little bit about that.
So there's three main ways to remove private mortgage insurance, and I get this all the time. And number one, simple, refinance. If it makes sense to refinance, rates are super low, values have gone up, a lot of times you can remove your PMI by refinancing. That's easy. Number two, the other way is to pay the loan down. If you pay the loan down to 78% of the loan to value, based on the purchase price or the last loan that you did, so usually it's the purchase, they have to remove the PMI. If you put 15% down, that can happen pretty quickly. But if you put 5 or 10% down, that can take a long time. So,
right. And depending on the size of the loan, the purchase price of the property.
Yes, the higher the loan amount, that can take longer, like that too. You know, people can apply extra principal reduction payments and pay it down quicker. So sometimes people do that. Number three, the third way is, and probably the most difficult of the three, is to petition the lender. You can call the lender and
reach out to your existing lender.
Yes, yes. So you call the lender, usually have to wait 2 years from the purchase minimum, and then you call them and you say, hey, I know, my value's gone up. I paid the loan down, say 5% or whatever, but the value's gone up. You know, they sometimes will make you do a full appraisal. Sometimes it's an online appraisal. You know, I've heard process, it can be difficult at times, but sometimes it gets done. I've had clients that get it done. So, but it is definitely probably, number three is probably the most difficult.
The hardest. And on the appraisal end, we get reached out to all the time by homeowners. Hey, I called up my lender, did the number three, called up my lender, said, I think I have enough value, need an appraisal. We give them the appraisal. And I think the lenders, they put these borrowers through a very difficult process. So that they keep paying the private mortgage insurance. And so we give them the appraisal and they come back to us and say, well, I'm still working this process and you know, we can only do so much on the appraisal end, but I hear a lot about that. So,
So the first two are the easiest, the third one most difficult, but it is doable. Right. I've seen it done.
And let's back up kind of a step. At what point do you need private mortgage insurance? When does private mortgage insurance kind of factor into your purchase?
Yeah, private mortgage insurance if you're putting less than 20% down.
So less than a typical conventional mortgage.
Yep. And so 3%, 5%, 10%, 15%. The more you put down and the better your credit score, the cheaper it is. So.
Okay. And how much, say on a $500,000 purchase, if you are putting 5% down, so you're putting 25 grand down. What would PMI typically look like, broad range?
It's going to be a percentage based on the loan amount. So $500,000 loan amount with, say, I mean, if they give you a break the higher the credit score, but say good credit but not super good credit, you know, maybe 720 to 740. You know, 5% down, you're probably going to be right around $200 a month.
Okay, so it's significant.
Yeah. But if you got really, really good credit, that 200 might go down to 150.
Okay.
You know?
But it's still an amount of money that within people's budgets, hey, I'd like to get rid of that.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you're under 680, then it's really going to be expensive. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if people are watching this and they're like, all right, I've got private mortgage insurance, I want to do something, who do you typically recommend they reach out to?
Reach out to me. Reach out to the loan officer.
Loan officer.
And advise them on.
Even if you got them the loan in the first place.
Absolutely. Yeah. I get contacted all the time by past clients. Hey, what are my options? You know? And these are the three options.
Right. Okay.
So,
Very cool. Yeah. All right. Well, Dan, thanks so much for discussing removal of private mortgage insurance. Again, I'm Sean Reynolds from Smit Properties Northwest and Reynolds and Klein Appraisal. Thanks so much for watching this video. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Here's the Summit difference. We offer an industry-high 80-20 split with absolutely zero fees, a low $10,000 cap, and a free listing video including drone for every single home that Smit Properties Northwest lists. For more information, click on the first link in the description of this video.